Welcome back to day 25 of the 100 horror films in 31 days. Got in 4 films today. Today was a mixed bag of viewing. First off, the theme of the day was the IMDb kind of worst 100 films list. So and I watched 2 of them, and I just couldn't. I had to watch something good after that. But first up, I watched Hobgoblins, 1988. I actually watched the MS3TK, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 edition of it. I watched it on a streaming site. Thankfully, I haven't spent any money on Hobgoblins because it really is a bad movie. Rick Sloane directed it, and it's basically a ripoff of Gremlins, an inept ripoff of Gremlins. But sometimes they're so bad they're good. I think Plan 9 from Outer Space is so bad it's good. This is just bad. The acting is horrible, wooden acting. Yeah, I mean it's just what the highlight of the film. Just to put it in context, the highlight of the film is a yard tool MMA battle in the front yard, and it's an extended sequence. You've got one guy with a hoe, another guy with a rake, and they're going at it back and forth. That's basically the highlight of the film. That was the most entertaining thing about the film. The film is a story about these little gremlin-like creatures that inhabit this abandoned, what looks like a film storage studio, and these security guards uncover the animals, and then they terrorize a bunch of kids. I would give it a 2 out of 10. Maybe that's being generous. I think Vinegar Syndrome has a pristine Blu-ray out on it, but I think I'll pass on it. Then I watched another turkey, and that was 1968's Astro Zombies. Now, why did I buy this? I bought this because, first off, it's got John Carradine. And then secondly, it is a Kino release, which it's a nice release. And third, I actually like that alternate artwork. I may flip that around. That's pretty cool. Third, it's got 3 different commentary tracks, including one with the director Ted V. Mickles. And I've always found it interesting to see what's going on in the mind of a director when they're making a movie like this. Do they really know? I mean, do you know you're making a piece of shit, or do you actually think this is some kind of second coming of Alfred Hitchcock? Or I mean, that's why I want to listen to the audio. I'm really excited about listening to the audio commentary. So this film is a mishmash of a mad scientist and he's created these zombie creatures, which the zombie creatures essentially are some guys running around in what looks like Walmart alien masks. You can even see the zipper line in the back of their neck. I think the highlight of the film was this pedantic, prosaic scene where John Carradine is working on what looks to be the back of a stereo receiver. Now you gotta remember this is 1968, but basically there's this little box. And I guess the whole intent of it is to demonstrate some form of mind control, but it's an extended sequence with no music. It's just John Carradine taking a screwdriver, and basically this little box that looks like a stereo receiver has got this little shelf, and he pulls the shelf out, and then he unscrews there's these bolts that look like the bolts on a kitty toy erector set. He's screwing the erector set bolt and takes it out, and he uncovers the box, the little hinge box, and he sticks this little computer chip in there. And then he slowly puts the screwdriver back in. As the tension is building, he screws it back in. He slides the thing back. If that's not good enough, though, now we're going to do it again. and that whole methodical process is recorded. I can't wait to see Ted Michaels explain, why that's so dramatic that we needed to focus on that for a good 5 minutes. But yeah, that's the highlight of the movie. It's ludicrous, and I really feel sorry for John Carradine to be kind of stuck in this kind of trash. It's bad, very very bad. But it was kind of enjoyable bad. Coming off of Hobgoblins, I found this mildly amusing. Now I moved on to some decent stuff, and that's I cracked back open the Naschy Set Volume 1 and watched 1980's Human Beasts. Now, Human Beasts is essentially a divergence from the Paul Naschy storylines. Now he's getting into cannibalism. And in this one, he plays a gangster, kind of like in that Gialli he did. And it's another character that's not particularly having redeeming features. Not a particularly likable character, but he gets involved with this family that nurses him back to health after getting shot, and they make sure he stays good and plump and fattened up. And there's this huge, quite frankly, there's this shocking. I think the ending, even though I think you can see it coming, the ending is shocking. It works. So Human Beasts, I give a 7 out of 10. Thought it was very good. The print quality was pristine, as is all the films so far I've watched on this Naschy set. The only problem with Human Beasts is it's lacking in special features. You've got a trailer and a still art gallery. That actually that's kind of a comment I would make about this collection. I'm pleased as punch. Scream Factory went ahead and showed some love to Paul Naschy, but the extras on these films are very hit and miss. Some of them you get commentaries, others you just get a trailer and still gallery, so it's very inconsistent. And then finally, I finished the day with a film that made the Video Nasties list, and that is Anthropophagus. This is, of course, our buddy Joe D'Amato's sleazy, gory, breaking all kinds of politically correct barriers here with Anthropophagus, and it stars George Eastman, who apparently wrote the script for this thing. George Eastman plays a cannibal, and he goes around chasing these couples that looks like on an on-set location in Greece, somewhere on an island, maybe Greek island. It is a very shocking. The last 30 minutes of this thing, there's two scenes in particular that I can see why it would have earned its Video Nasty credentials, but kind of the lead up to it is actually kind of boring. It's a stilted, slow-moving, relatively uninteresting film, and I think that's just the acting in it is kind of subpar. But there are two iconic scenes towards the end of it that leave you kind of like, what the hell am I watching? So I still recommend it. This is the 88 Films re-release. So this was remastered. I think when 88 Films first released this film, there was some problems with picture quality. So they came out with this quote-unquote remastered edition. And it looks great. I mean, it's there's the alternate cover art. It looks great, but I was actually disappointed that it's not as engaging as I would have hoped for. I still give it a 6 out of 10 just because there's two iconic scenes of cannibalism in it that you will never forget. So that's Anthropophagus, and I think that's going to wrap up day 25. Thanks for watching.